A young boy decides to get money to feed people in his poor village. However, he meets a group of assassins known to attack at night. He is recruited against his will after learning that the group intends to stop tyranny and bring about democracy. Will he be a great match for the team, or will he die at his first battle? Hello, Anime Recaps here. Today I will show you a 2014 series called Akame ga Kill. Spoilers ahead. A swordsman called Tatsumi travels to the capital to raise funds for his impoverished village. After being robbed by a blonde girl in a tavern, he has to sleep on the streets. But he is soon invited to stay at the manor of a wealthy girl named Aria. While waiting for Sayo and Ieyasu to arrive in the capital, Tatsume learns about the Night Raid, a notorious assassination group of knights who raid the manor at dusk, killing all the guards. During this time, Tatsume defends Aria from the Night Raid member Akame, only to be interrupted by the blonde girl from the tavern, Night Raid member Leon. Leon informs Tatsume that Aria and her parents have tortured several villagers from the countryside, including Sayo and Ieyasu. Tatsume executes Aria without hesitation or mercy. Since Sayo is already dead, Tatsume is invited to join the Night Raid by Leon against his will. Tatsume is brought to the Night Raid hideout by Leon, who presented him to the other members whom he deems to be freaks. Najenda, the Night Raid leader, persuades Tatsume to join the Night Raid, whose objective is to topple the empire and replace it with a democratic government. Najenda assigns Akame to teach Tatsume, but Tatsume only cooks and fishes. Tatsume is later tasked with putting an end to the ogre, captain of the Imperial Police, who was notorious for framing innocent people as criminals. Tatsume encounters Ogre in the streets at night and kills him with a sword slash. Tatsume reports back to the hideout while Akame performs a strip search to ensure he is not injured. As he has thus far survived, she accepts him as a member of the Night Raid. Najenda dispatches Night Raid to eliminate tribal assassins attempting to infiltrate the hideout. Tatsume is assigned to train with Night Raid member Mine. The following day, Tatsume becomes irritated while wandering the streets because he and Mine have mostly shopped for clothing in the city. Later, they see Prime Minister Honest order the execution of a man who recognized Honest's true nature as the tyrannical de facto ruler of the empire. Later, Najenta sends the Night Raid on a mission to kill Locale, a distant blood relative of the Empire's Prime Minister. Locale is accused of kidnapping women and brutally abusing them before murdering them. Tatsume watches as Mine uses her Imperial Arms pumpkin, a powerful rifle, to snipe Locale at the mansion. Tatsume also learns about how Mine was mistreated as a child because of her half-foreign blood, and how she ran away to join the Revolutionary Army to prevent others from suffering the same discrimination and torture she did. After escaping death at the hands of the other Night Raid members, Tatsume and Mine are ambushed. Tatsume restrains the bodyguard, allowing Mine to engage in sniping. He is angry when the bullet grazes his hair. The members of the Night Raid discuss their next target, the notorious Zenku, a former executioner who became addicted to nightly beheadings. Najenda explains the origin of the Imperial Arms, potent relics that the members of the Night Raid currently possess. So powerful are they that of two wielders, one will perish. Tatsumi and Akame pair up to find Zenku. Tatsumi is tricked by Sayo's illusion and falls into a trap prepared by Zenku, who utilizes his Imperial Arms Spectator, a helmet that offers precognition and allows him to predict every assault. Akame packing sees Tatsume injured and takes his place in the fight against Zenku. Zenku tries to trick Akame by resembling Kurome Akame's younger sister. However, the deception is quickly destroyed and Zenku is killed with her Imperial Arms Murasame, a poisonous bladed sword. Tatsume is shocked that after learning how to swim in his armor, he will spend the day training with Night Raid member Shiel. Shiel defends her clumsiness by mentioning her inability to complete various jobs. Still, it was when she rescued her best friend by killing her best friend's ex-boyfriend that she found her assassination talents for the first time. Tatsume tries to activate Zanku's retrieved spectator later, but the device refuses him. The Night Raid's highest priority is collecting all known Imperial arms, which are documented in a book. Tatsume is disappointed to learn that no one can resurrect the dead. The next day, while patrolling the marketplace, Tatsume and Leon become separated. He is accompanied back to the market by Suryu of the Imperial Police, who possesses one of the Imperial arms, Koro, a dog-like pet. Suryu plans to kill every member of Night Raid for the loss of her mentor, who is revealed to be Ogre. Tatsume and Leon penetrate a temple to assassinate a group of drug traffickers who have drugged and incapacitated a large number of women. In the meantime, Mine and Shiel are ambushed by Suryu, whose core can regenerate and expand in size, and Leon uses her Imperial arms Lionel, a belt blessed with feline skills, to eliminate the gang. Although it is discovered that Suryu was concealing firearms in her arms, Shiel uses her massive pair of Imperial arms to cut off Suryu's arms. At the same time, Mine utilizes her pumpkin to attack Coral. When she retrieves Mine, Koro goes wild and seizes her, nearly drowning her. Suryu fires a shot from a revolver secreted on her lips at Koro. Mine stands there in disbelief as Koro cuts Shiel in half. Shiel uses Extase to emit blinding light as a trump card, allowing Mine to flee while she is devoured by Koro and killed. As it begins to rain, Mine informs the other members of the Night Raid of Shiel's death, causing them to be shocked. In exchange for a potential spouse, the Emperor orders General Esdeath of the Empire to hunt down the Night Raid. Tatsume, who had been assumed that Akame is calm and composed since Shiel's death, is surprised to discover that she is utterly devastated. This motivates him to protect her and stay alive. Esdeath sends the three beasts, Nayao, Diadra, and Liver, an elite group of Imperial arms users, to eliminate Prime Minister Chowri and his daughter Spear, political opponents of the Honest from the Northern Tribe. The three beasts then distribute flyers implicating Night Raid in the murders. Najenda sends Tatsume and Bulat of Night Raid aboard an enormous liner. Tatsume opposes Nayu's Imperial Arms shrieking flute, whose power is to weaken those who hear its melody. Tatsume is subsequently faced by Diadra, who wields a double-bladed axe as his Imperial Arms bellwork. Bulat intervenes and kills Diadra with his Imperial Armaments Incursion, a sealed white sword that turns into a suit of armor. Bulat recognizes Liver as a member of the Imperial Police. Bulat is at a disadvantage since he is surrounded by water, so Liver uses his Imperial arms, Black Marine, a ring that controls all liquids. Tatsume is in a fight with Nayao, who is incredibly quick on his feet. After Bulat declines Liver's request to join Death's army, he and Liver fight to the death in a grueling duel. After Liver explains that he joined Esdeath out of admiration for her, Bulat manages to wound Liver, who passes away. Bulat sees that as a final option, Liver shot poison into his circulation and utilized his blood to pierce through him. Bulat entrusts the incursion to Tatsume. Tatsume successfully triggers it and kills Nayao as Nayao uses Screen to build up his body. Soon Bulat dies and Tatsume cries in grief. Tatsume and Lubbock are doing push-ups while Akame and Leon are lying on their backs literally. As the Jaegers convene, the Najenda picks Akame as interim head before departing to recruit more members. Esdeath mercilessly reveals herself as the commander of the Jaegers, whose job is to hunt down the Empire's adversaries. Lubbock invites Tatsume and Leon to his library, where he explains that Najenda was disgusted by Esdeath's excessive cruelty to the Southwestern Tribal Army. Esdeath secretly sponsors a tournament to find her future spouse. Tatsume enters the competition dressed as a blacksmith. Tatsume's prowess captivates Esdeath after killing his opponent in the arena, winning the tournament. As Death approaches him, binds him, and brings him into the palace. Akame, Leon, Mine, and Lubbock debate whether or not they should save Tatsumi. Tatsumi is compelled to watch Esdeath and the Jaegers raid and destroy abandoned strongholds. Esdeath tries to seduce Tatsumi in her bedroom and persuade her to join his side despite his arguments that the Empire is corrupt. She slaps him and tells him that she will never change for him. The next day, Esdeath tasks Tatsumi and Wave with eliminating a group of tree beasts in the western part of the mountains. Tatsumi escapes into the woods with Incursion, but Wave chases him with his Imperial Arms Grand Chariot, a sealed black sword that changes into a suit of armor. Esdeath punishes Wave brick by brick for allowing Tatsumi to flee, but she is still intent on recapturing Tatsumi. Tatsumi informs Akame, Leon, Mine, and Lubbock about Esdeath and the Jaegers in the library. Meanwhile, Dr. Stylish and Team Stylish locate and assault the Night Raid hideout. Tatsumi tries to defeat Kaku, who has shielding stakes, but Mine intervenes and destroys him with the pumpkin. For the time being, Akame fights Toby, who has a mechanical body armed with firearms and swords. Lubbock transforms a manipulable reel of strings into a spear and stabs Toby in the chest with it. Trump tries to attack me from behind, but Lion kills him in one blow with an unexpected attack. Except for Tatsumi, Najenda, Akame, Leon, Mine, and Lubbock are surrounded by Dr. Stylish's foot soldiers who have all been injected with Stylish paralyzing poison. Soon after, Stylish injects himself with a vial that transforms him into a dangerous beast, and he consumes his 3 minions to grow stronger. When Tatsumi, Akame, and Mine cannot fight the body of Stylish within the danger beast, Najenda releases Susanoo, who quickly kills the foot soldiers. The group works together to kill Dr. Stylish. Tatsumi, Akame, Leon, Mine, and Lubbock meet Chelsea and Susanoo, Najenda's newest recruits. In the meantime, Esdeath confronts Suryu over the death of Stylish. In the forest, Tatsumi and Leon eliminate a horde of Marg Dons. Chelsea utilizes her Royal Arms Gaia Foundation, a cosmetics box that allows her to take on any appearance, to turn into a cat and steal Mine's cake, much to her dismay. Later, Chelsea blames Night Raid for ineptitude, citing the deaths of Shiel and Bulat. Mine persuades Tatsumi and Lubbock to punish Chelsea for what she said, and Lubbock instructs Tatsumi to sneak up on Chelsea while she is swimming in the hot springs. Tatsumi is initially misled by Chelsea's use of the Gaia Foundation to take on the appearance of Susanoo, but she later reveals that she is the sole survivor of her former team. This explains why she initially criticized Night Raid. Run informs Esdeath of a list of Tatsumi doppelgangers, but Esdeath insists that there is only one Tatsumi whom she loves. Thank you for watching. Remember to like and subscribe.